Welcome to Staff Works Explained. If you're here for the first time, please consider subscribing to this channel. In this video, we'll be talking about Bomas of Kenya, a facility which is being transformed, which is being redeveloped, and it's poised to be one of the largest conferencing center or facility in East and Central Africa. For decades, Bomas of Kenya has occupied a unique place in the country's national life. It has been a cultural showcase, a political meeting ground, and during elections season, a center of intense national attention, which it is used as a national tally. Today, however, Bomas is at the center of a far more ambitious national project. Its transformation into world-class international conferencing facility, projected to be the largest in East and Central Africa. This redevelopment marks a decisive shift, not just how the land is used, but in how Kenya's positioned itself within regional diplomacy, global business, and also a fast-growing meetings and conferencing economy. What was Bomas before this redevelopment? Bomas of Kenya was established in 1971 as a cultural institution which was under the Ministry of Tourism. Its primary role was to preserve, display, and perform Kenya's diverse cultural heritage, including traditional music, dance, architecture, as well as craft. The site's well-known traditional homesteads, which are called Bomas, were designed as education exhibits, while the main auditorium became a performance venue for cultural troupes and national celebrations. Over time, however, Bomas acquired an additional and far more politically charged role. From the early 2000s onwards, it became a central venue for political processes, that is at a national level. Most notably, between 2003 and 2004 constitutional review process, which is we have the Bomas draft, which being mentioned frequently. We also have the National Elections Tallying Center in several general elections, presidential elections. This election-related role cemented Bomas in the public consciousness, but it also meant the site was often associated with political tensions, disputed outcomes, and allegation of electoral malpractice. These associations, while not the original intent of the facility, shaped how the public came to view Bomas. Important symbolically, that is, but underutilized for broader economic and international purposes. Why the development of these Bomas now? The strategic logic. The decision to redevelop Bomas into an international conference center aligns with Kenya's long-standing goal of strengthening its position as a regional diplomatic, commercial, and tourism hub, as articulated under Vision 2030, which is a blueprint. Globally, conference tourism, commonly referred to as MICE sector, meetings, incentives, conference, and exhibitions, is a high-value segment of the tourism industry. It generates longer stays, higher spending per visitor, and consistent year-round demand. Countries that host large conferences also gain soft power, influence through visibility, convening authority, as well as agenda setting. Kenya's existing flagship venue, which is the Kenya International Convention Centre, KICC, which is in the Nairobi Central Business District, has served this role for decades, but is now constrained by capacity limits, aging infrastructure, as well as increasing competition from newer facilities in Africa and the Middle East. The development of Bomas is therefore intended to complement, not replace KICC, while dramatically expanding Nairobi's ability to host large, simultaneous international events. What is being built at Bomas? The Bomas International Conference Centre, BICC, is a large-scale, purpose-built complex covering over 320,500 square meters. The project includes a main plenary hall seating approximately 11,000 delegates, multiple secondary conferencing halls and auditoria, a large banquet and exhibition facility, presidential and VIP facilities, supporting infrastructure including security installation, medical services, as well as extensive parking. There is also integration with the hospitality facilities and future commercial developments. From a project design perspective, the emphasis is on multifunctionality, the ability to host political summits, trade exports, cultural events, as well as corporate conventions, sometimes concurrently. The project is valued at approximately between 31 to 35 billion and is scheduled for completion in 2026, with the government indicating that major international events are already being lined up once the facility becomes operational. Let's now talk about the funding. How the Bomas International Conference Centre project is being financed remains one of its most debated and least clearly explained aspects. What is certain is that the project is state-driven. Cabinet approved the development of Bomas of Kenya in 2023, placing it firmly under government sponsorship and control. The intention was to deliver a flagship national facility without selling public land, a point that the government has repeatedly emphasized in response to public concern. Beyond that, clarity becomes thinner. Early procurement documents pointed to a contract value of about 31.5 billion Kenya shillings awarded to a foreign contractor and a design and build model. However, the project did not proceed smoothly. Parliamentary committees and media investigation later raised questions about whether the project had clearly defined budget line within the national estimate or whether it was being pursued through off-budget financing arrangement, meaning funding sourced outside the normal annual budget process. At various stages, officials acknowledged that the contractor was expected to help mobilize a significant portion of the financing, reportedly through external lenders, including international development or trade finance institutions. While such arrangements are not unusual for large infrastructure projects, they typically require strong disclosure, sovereign guarantees, and parliamentary oversight, areas where lawmakers have openly complained of insufficient information. The involvement of Ministry of Defense and Kenya Defense Forces in the supervising construction has added another layer of complexity. While this is officially framed as a delivery and project management decision, not a financing one, it has further blurred public understanding of who ultimately carries the financial risk, how payments are structured, and how cost overruns would be handled. As of now, no comprehensive public document clearly outlines one, the final funding mix between treasury allocations and external funding, the repayment terms where loans are involved, and also the long-term fiscal implication for taxpayers. In project management terms, this represents a governance and transparency gap rather than proof of wrongdoing, but it is a gap that matters. Projects of this scale depend as much on public confidence as on concrete and steel. Without clear disclosure, Bomas risks being judged not only on what is being built, but on lingering questions about how and at what cost it is being paid for. In short, the ambition is visible, the construction is real, but the funding story is still being told in fragments. How does this facility compare with Addis Ababa convention centers? Ethiopia provides a useful comparison. In Addis Ababa, a new international convention and exhibition complex has already been completed and commissioned. It sits on a large master planned site and includes multiple exhibition halls, integrated hotels, outdoor events spaces, direct links to diplomatic and commercial districts. The Ethiopian facility benefits from earlier completion, few legacy land use constraints, centralized governance of major national projects. Kenya's Bomas project, by contrast, is larger in single hall capacity, but faces more complex integration challenges due to its location, existing institutional history, as well as surrounding urban fabric. In simple terms, Addis Ababa already has a fully operational modern convention ecosystem, while Nairobi is building one that could be larger and more versatile, but it should prove itself through delivery and sustained use. What are the key challenges and risks? From a project management standpoint, several challenges stand out. One is governance and procurement. The project has faced public scrutiny over procurement processes, including dispute involving foreign contractors. Such controversies increase reputation risk and can delay delivery if not resolved transparently. Then there is delivery timelines. Large public projects with fixed political deadlines often face pressure to accelerate constructions, While military-led implementation through Kenya Defence Forces supervision can improve discipline and speed, it does not eliminate risks related to quality, coordination, and long-term maintenance. We have utilization risk. A conference center success is measured not by size, but by its consistent booking and occupancy. Without strong international marketing, airline, connectivity, and complementary hotel capacity, even the most impressive venue can become underused. Then there is also legacy perception. Bomas association with election disputes may linger. Reposition it as a neutral, globally respected convening space will require deliberate branding and operational credibility. Why this project still matters? If successful and completed well and well managed, the Bomas International Centre could be an anchor of Nairobi's to become a continental convening city. It will also support growth in tourism, hospitality, and professional services. It will create employment across construction, operation, and supply chains. It is hoped to reduce pressure on traditional CBD by decentralizing major events from KICC. It will strengthen Kenya diplomatic and economic influence. In conclusion, we can say that the transformation of Bomas of Kenya represents more than a construction project. It is a statement about how Kenya sees itself and how it wants to be seen as a country capable of hosting, convening, and leading at scale. Yet, ambition alone is not enough. The success of Bomas will depend on disciplined execution, transparency, effectiveness in terms of marketing, and also long-term operation planning. If these elements align, Bomas could move from being a site of national political anxiety to one of continental engagement and opportunity. The shift from cultural stage and Tallying center to global conference is not automatic, but it is possible if done right, and if this is done right, to shape Nairobi. Its urban and economic landscape for decades to come will be different from what it is now. So thank you for reaching this far. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing to this channel. Also hit the notification bell so that whenever you upload a new video, you are notified. You can also watch other videos that we have made on different projects in Kenya, in East Africa, and also Africa.